there were two Quicksilvers. Both were from Kick-Ass, but they were both different. One was better. Let's find out who it was. Alright. Also, just so you know, there will be spoilers for Age of Ultron and X-Men Days of Future Past in this video. So in this video, I'll be obviously describing both of these two characters and trying to break down who I think is a better representation of Quicksilver. So in this video, I will be discussing the acting of the character, the look of the character, the story of which the character is set in that may affect him, and the personality of this character, you know, the presentation of his personality and his character. So obviously the two different movies are Avengers Age of Ultron, which I saw 2 days ago. It was awesome. Go check our review out on the channel if you haven't seen that. And there was X-Men Days of Future Past. Now I won't be considering which movie is better, you know, that won't really affect my opinion. I just want to figure out which movie did a better job of representing this character. So first off, acting. Aaron Taylor Johnson, he had probably a little more time to shine, I guess. He got a little bit more development, which I liked. You really have a more emotional connection to him, and his acting. Both of the acting, Evan Peters and Aaron Taylor Johnson. There's not too much acting that they could have really done in this story, so like there's not much I can say there. But I'm gonna say I like Aaron Taylor Johnson more, just because to him he felt a little more cocky and a little more traditional Quicksilver, and Evan Peters just kind of felt maybe a little bit more fun of a character. But overall, I'm gonna have to go with Aaron Taylor Johnson. The look of the character, I don't think I really need to describe this one. One wears a Pink Floyd and a silver. I don't even know how he bought a silver jacket. Just because he's Quicksilver doesn't mean he has to wear a silver jacket. And there's the actual, pretty similar Quicksilver costume, which is an Age of Ultron, where he actually has white hair, not silver hair, and he has a bluish, whitish, silvery costume. He wears Adidas shoes, but to me that's better than a Pink Floyd shirt. So he actually looks more like a superhero, where that guy looks like an 80s hipster, really flamboyant. So that one, again, I'm going to give it to Age of Ultron. Now the story where the character is set in these ones, this one is kind of a key one to me because it's kind of where the character is and what he's doing. So first off, Quicksilver in Days of Future Past, he's a little bit more fleshed out with his powers and his abilities. How we can, like, especially that one scene, which, regardless of what you think of the movie, you have to admit that was awesome when he's running through the kitchen, I guess, and just punching out those guys. You see more slow motion, and you see kind of the comedy of the character come out there, which is good for showing his character and his personality. Now, the worst thing about Quicksilver in Days of Future Past is that he comes in, he's basically a plot device. A good plot device, because he's well developed, he's cool, weird costume, whatever, good acting, okay. But he kind of comes in, does something cool, and then he just kind of leaves. I don't know why. He really could have solved, like, a lot of the problems in this movie. Like, when they're in the big place, looking at that presentation, he could have just kind of, and they're looking for Mystique, he could have kind of just run around in like a second and looked at each person, found out where she was. He really could have slowed down time, punched Magneto in the face, or his dad. And that's one thing about the story I like a little bit more about Quicksilver. Obviously they have the rights, so I guess this is kind of a cheat because they're allowed to do this. They're allowed to call him a mutant and allowed to hint at Magneto being his father, which is a little cooler, but also we get Scarlet Witch in there, which kind of ruins the twin thing, that kind of ruins the story of Quicksilver again, because she's not his twin, he's his little sister in a pink dress. So, I guess that's Quicksilver, and that's Scarlet Witch. Okay. The story in Age of Ultron, he's a lot more useful, and he's actually used. He's not a plot device. He has a lot more personality, which I can kind of combine personality and story into this category. And he actually, like, he's cool. You understand it without having to do slow motion, even though slow motion was maybe a little bit more understandable to the average audience, but as a comic book reader, it's, I don't need the slow motion to understand it, because I already know who he is. I also really like how Quicksilver in the beginning, like the comic books, he's actually a villain. Like Scarlet Witch, he's working for Ultron, and the reason we understand why he's doing this, it's so well put together, and it's in one scene, it's in one piece of dialogue, and you instantly understand them, which is, like, I don't know how you do it, it's so hard to do, it must have great writing, obviously Joss Whedon. And also, I like that he's kind of more saving the characters in this story. Like, when he runs through the streets and saves people, gets people on the flying boats, or safety boats, I don't know, whatever they are, and they bring him into the helicarrier. And he, like, you get a little bit of motion when he punches Captain America straight in the face and the spit flies out. And also in this, his story and reputation and personality is a lot more comic book. He's a little bit more cocky, especially with you didn't see that coming. I like that. He looked like him more. This is personality, obviously. He's a little more cocky. He's a little bit more likable. They didn't really develop likableness in the Future Past. He was just kind of there, and they kind of expect you to like him, but they kind of give him more of a dramatic and likable personality, especially with Scarlet Witch, which I was talking about, that relationship that he has with his twin sister that kind of builds his character a little more. And he's cool. I mean, you get some really cool elements of him there. He's useful. He's a cool guy. He's a little bit cocky, yeah, but that makes him a little bit more different than the Avengers. Now, the only thing about Age of Ultron that I don't like about the story, and I'm not sure how this is going to go, is obviously, like I said in the beginning, spoilers, he does die. He gets shot up by Ultron in the plane. But thing is, where does this lead the character? Now, obviously, they said that he has faster regenerating systems, which means I guess he could come back, even though he was kind of showed that he was dead. Plus, if he was regenerating, don't you think he would have regenerated by the end of the movie? And I mean, like, where does the character really go if he is dead? That means it's kind of a waste to me, because it's like you've got a really good Quicksilver and he's just dead. Whereas in Days of Future Past, he's there, and sadly, he's a plot device, so they can't bring him back, but he could be anywhere else. I'm not sure if he's in X-Men Apocalypse. I think he is. But, hopefully we'll get some cool stuff there. Hopefully get a costume. Now, I'm pretty sure that Aaron Taylor Johnson has a 3-movie contract to Marvel. So, if I'm right about that, I guess he kind of has to come back, even though Hugo Weaving has like a 7 or 9 movie contract, and he hasn't come back yet. But I think that's more of like, this is his first movie. Why would you kill him off in the first movie? Especially if he's kind of essential to Scarlet Witch, and like, that would be a big waste to me. And it kind of felt rushed, but, well, he dies, and I guess that's not really a big part of his story, but that's kind of where the movie leads him, so not a big fan of that. So, I'm going to give both of those to Age of Ultron. So there you have it. I guess Aaron Taylor Johnson wins. Yeah, goodbye to that. I don't need that ever. Well, actually, so hopefully Aaron Taylor Johnson, Quicksilver, will come back. Pietro, whose actual name is Pietro. It's not Peter Maximoff. It's Pietro Maximoff, which I'm so glad about. I was worried we were going to get another Peter, or a Paul, I don't care, just Pietro, okay? And they give him an accent, which is because he's European. I wasn't expecting that, but it makes sense because the characters are European. They were born in some mountain somewhere in Europe, I know that. So guys, hopefully this will help you understand who is the better Quicksilver here. Obviously it had to go to Aaron Taylor Johnson. Everything about him was really better to me. The use of the character, minus his death, the personality of the character, his cockiness, the look of the character, especially he had white hair, he looked awesome. So guys, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. And working hours of editing on this. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did that. Actually, I don't, because I probably won't enjoy that.